Hey, happy Thanksgiving, less lethal people. So, over the summer, when I was fortunate enough to go down and meet DK Spencer, he brought out his Weston Rattler, which is a high-powered air gun. It could be used for hunting, etc. They come in different calibers. I think his was 357. And I was so impressed by this thing because the intricacy, and if you're a guy that makes things or likes to build things, when you look at something like this, you could really appreciate the engineering and time that went into it. And it's almost like the steampunk air rifle. It really is. Every piece of machined metal on there is just perfectly done. There's not a sharp corner, sharp edge. And there's so many different parts. Unlike a firearm, like if you were to compare like a Glock or a Springfield or a Smith & Wesson MP9, these strike fire guns, they're all pretty much the same when you take them apart. They work this. It's not like there's anything crazy different. This thing was completely different. So many working mechanisms, and it was just one of the coolest things. But one of the really interesting things I found that intrigued me was it had a carbon fiber barrel. And kind of when I saw that, it stuck in my head, like, why aren't we using carbon fiber barrels for like less lethal and other stuff like that? And it just kind of hung out in the back of my head, and it was a thought at the time. So coming back home, you guys know I'm really not big into doing a business or making money or anything. I'm just more into this for the hobby and the fun of it and the education of it. And if I could try something and it works, great, which happened with the detents. I was very lucky to do the Humorex detents, and they just happened to work really great. So I reached out to my friend who helps me do the 3D printing, and he's been hanging out with me here for a long time, and he moved a lot of his 3D printing stuff into my house here. So we've been working and up every single night, playing with things and just having fun like we did back in the day. And yesterday he said to me, hey, why don't we build something for the less lethals and see what we could come up with? So I said, I always wanted to make a barrel. So I asked him, do you have any carbon fiber? And he said, no, we'll order it though. He said, I said, what about ABS? He says, yeah, I have that. I just have to unpack it. He said, but I have the regular PLU, which is like the very inexpensive plastic. So he said, let's try making a couple of prototypes out of it. Well, we did, and we had a really fun time doing it. The hardest part was running into the threads, making the right threads for the barrels, because it was all guesstimate and trial and error. And we made one out of PLU, which is not the greatest material, but it's durable. So to our surprise, it worked really well. And so we ordered the carbon fiber, and we're going to try to make some out of ABS. So what we came up with was a barrel for the Intrubuster.68 or the Pastels 68. And it's only 2 inches longer than the stock. That's it. We could make a 2-inch, a 3-inch, a 4, 5, or a 6-inch. We're going to make some different ones and try them out. So we made this, and I wanted to run the Joule V3s through it and see what we get. So I'm going to bring you over to the workbench over here, and we're going to do a little bit of shooting. First, let me grab my coffee, because I got to have my coffee. You guys know me and my coffee. That's one of my vices. Motorcycle, cigars, less lethal, animals, all those other things are my vices. I got more nonsense going on than you can imagine. So anyway, this is the stock barrel, and this is the other barrel. They're only about, you could see easily, this one's 2 inches longer. So I have my scale here. I have it set up in grams because we want to weigh the balls, the projectiles. The stock is 24.4 grams. The new one that I made is around 17.7 grams. Now, for those of you that don't know, I never really noticed it, there's a little O-ring on the stock one. So I just went in my little Harbor Freight O-ring box and pulled out an O-ring and slipped it on here. You guys might be able to see it right here. It's a little thicker and bigger, but it doesn't matter. And Slips right in. Turns nice, snug. Get it on there. No wiggle, no play, nothing. Solid. I have a, let's see what I have in here. I have a Umarex CO2 down the hall. Going to use a little salt supply PSG lube on that, so we're good. Okay, so there's no mistaking. Well, here's the same. I made a couple of them, so rolls nice and smooth. Almost bore match perfectly for it. Let's weigh this. We gotta shut that off and zero it out. Hang on. Okay, so we have Joule V3s, 7.9, 7.9, yeah, 7.8. Not that that's gonna matter. 7.8. 7.8. 7.9. All right, so 7.8, 7.9. Not that that point is going to make a difference. I just want you guys to see that because I know some other videos out there, certain individuals fool around and they use lighter balls to make it look like it's flying at a higher speed and then they fudge the numbers. 680 is too small. 682, so. 684, so it's a 684. And some of them fit through perfectly. Some are, I notice these aren't perfectly round. There's some seams or stuff, but that's okay. So we're gonna load 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to put it into our Intrubuster. So that we do not have any confusion, I'm going to grab my other cell phone, so you guys just bear with me for a moment. I want to do the calculations right away in front of you guys so you see the joules we're getting. So just hang on for 1 second. All right, so we're gonna set this up for joules, and we're gonna set it up for 7.9 grams, and we're gonna set it up for feet per second. So you see here we have the joule calculator. We have it set up at 7.9 grams, joules, feet per second. We got the chronograph. We're gonna fire up our Intrubuster or Pastels.68, whatever you wanna call it. Let's aim it at our target. Let's get out the chronograph, 0, 0. Let's see what we got. Ooh, I got 0, 0 on that. I hope it's not over. It can't be over 6. Let's try it again. 368. I'm not sure why the first one didn't read. 368. So let's write that down for the second one. 368. So that's our second shot, 368. I'll be chasing these around. 368 again. I'll be writing them down each time. I'm not sure what the first number was, so we only know what the second and third shot was. 366. And shot number 4. We got 2 more. Shot number 5. Ooh, 364. The numbers are really great. I mean, and shot number 6. 366. It's quite interesting. I'm not sure what shot 1 was. Maybe I didn't hold the button on shot 1, and that could have been my fault. But it could have been 370. Every single one went down 2 feet per second, except the last one, number 6, went up, back up to 366. So, I'm very, very curious to see what the joules are of this. This is very interesting. So let's bring our barrel over here. Let's talk a little. Let's get the calculator out. So, even more important, let's remove this barrel to show everybody it worked. And this, honestly, this is like maybe the 5th or 6th time I'm shooting this. I did it a couple of times last night, and I did it a couple of times this morning, just because I couldn't believe it. So, we have the calculator here. I'm upset we didn't get the first reading. I will tell you, when I did this off camera, I did get a first reading yesterday when I first made it of 56 joules. But I'm curious to see what these are. I'm going by these because these are what we have in front of us. So the first one, well, the second shot we're going with is 368. 368, calculate. Okay, 49 joules. Second one, same thing, 368, so that's 49 joules. 366. $49 joules. This is unbelievable. Very, very consistent numbers. 364. $48 joules. And 366 again, we're back up to, which was 366. 49 joules. Yeah. So 49 down to 47 joules. So, just the consistency is wonderful. I mean, you drop 2 joules for each. I don't know what the first one was. I'm assuming we could have got 50 joules out of the first one, but I'll do more videos. Maybe I'll shoot another one later on. I think it's fantastic. 49 joules down to 47 joules is the lowest. You can't beat that. First one could have been 50, we don't know. I did get 56 last night. I used a regular Riot ball, a white Riot ball. But the white Riot ball is a little bit smaller than these Joule V3s. Anyway, it's only 2 inches longer, this barrel. Next week, the goal is to make one that's 4 inches longer and see what we get out of it. But I don't think that was too shabby. I think it was pretty good. So I did another video, I think, with the riot balls, and I think that was also roughly about the same. Went from 50 joules down to like 46 joules or something like that. So I didn't post that one yet, but it's basically the same numbers. Anyway, 3D printed barrel. I can make it a little bit tighter so the bore matches better. Seems to hold up really good. Like I said, this is just PLU. It's not even the ABS or the carbon fiber. There's no cracks, no anything in it. I've used it now about 5 or 6 times, and it's unbelievable, really cool. Which gets me thinking, if this is able to work for the Intrubuster at this power, well, possibly may have to make one for the salt supply, may have to make one for the HDP50, and so on and so forth, because, I mean, it's pretty wild. So stay tuned for some other stuff. We'll see where we go with this, but it worked really good. Happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you soon.